You know when you're running early and you try and figure out why? I feel like I must be forgetting something, you know? I even had a shave today. Like, normally they're the days I push a little bit later, because on the other day, I shave one day and do the washing up the next day, and doing the washing up is obviously much quicker. It's odd. It's very, very odd. Also, last night, I didn't get to bed until about 1 o'clock. I kept doing this, you know, when it's about 11:30, let's say, and you go, right, I think I'm 2 minutes away from solving this problem. And then all of a sudden it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? That happened. So for the past 3 days now, I've been getting up, going to bed around midnight. Last night was 1 o'clock. It's not taking its toll yet. I'm doing all right, I'm hanging in there, you know? But, oh God, there's midges. But I imagine after, obviously, a holiday and lots of rest, I might start looking a bit tired. So, apologies about that. Look at this doggo. I spent my day testing today. It was great fun. Buying everything with like gift vouchers and loyalty points, and then doing it twice and using different combinations and making it all to the right thing, then logging in 4 different ways. God damn, it was so much fun. I've also like really fricked up my neck or something in like a not very good way. My back is just like a bit trash, you know? So I've been looking at other things I've been doing. With the problems I was having yesterday, I updated a load of Nuget packages to get it working, and then spotted some issues that were being thrown around by AutoMapper updates and mass transit updates. Oh, that could have been very bad. That would have been on my foot if my foot was just a little bit further to the left. And fixed one of them at work. I spotted how the first one was done. They basically changed some of the interfaces for AutoMapper. So I was then looking through the changes for mass transit, and the change for mass transit isn't actually a change in mass transit, it's a change in the mocking framework I use, where the way that it treats anonymous objects is a little bit different. And I'm just like trying to pull out the information from this thing, and it's like, it's telling me all the data on the object. I'm like, why can't you just see this? Because here, it's going in as a cancel schedule message, but this is anonymous. So previously, end substitute would have done that for me. They would have gone, effectively tried to cast it, and then gone, oh, that works, let's roll with that, but it doesn't do that anymore. God damn. I thought there was nothing more irritating than when packages use extension methods instead of just fucking adding it to the normal interface. It's really annoying, but it's normally not too bad, because it's just an extension method of a more complicated call to the same method effectively, and I'm just using the shortcutted version. But in this case, it's like an extension method that calls into a couple of things that you can't mock. But the one thing you can mock, the one thing I care about, I can mock that, that's good. And then they go and fucking new up a new dynamic bloody object. So it's got it's got to abide by a set interface, but I can't cast it into that interface to prove that it's that interface. Ah, oh, fucking hell. What is so fucking irritating. So, anyway, I watched the second episode of Stranger Things, and I'm gonna head to bed because I stayed up stupid late last night. So I'm gonna head to bed. And then I've got to tidy up. I figured out how to do it. I figured out how to solve the problem, but and then I've just got to tidy up my solution and then copy and paste it into all the places. The 3 places that it applies. It's to do with the change of how a think-away castle works. Previously, my framework. Why did I do that? Previously, my framework would have handled this for me and did handle it for me. It's not like the fault of the third party. It's just that for some reason my mocking framework has changed in a most recent update. And there's no obvious change either, so I think it's like a core dependency that it depends on that was doing that work, isn't doing it anymore. I think that thing is Castle. Castle is like basically, I don't even know what it is, but it's what all mocking frameworks are based on, basically. It's really frustrating because I'm still not finished my database migration. And I still haven't finished, so I haven't finished the database migration, and I'm still having this issue with the 404, so I've not managed to investigate. I got absolutely sideswiped by this because I thought it would be easier than it was, because the other problem I had, which looked very similar, was the fault of the update, the package I was testing, not the thing I was, and you know what I mean? I saw two problems, picked one of them. I thought it would be A, turned out to be B. Second time I was like, oh, it's probably B then. Now it's A this time. It's so frustrating. But anyway, I need to get an early night tonight, I think. And also, rest my back. God damn. I'm so early. Why am I so early? What is this? I am just really excited to go do some testing. Woohoo! Manual testing. Not even fun automation testing. I almost regret having an early night last night. Like I've been going to bed at around 12, 1 o'clock-ish for the past couple of days. But then last night I went to bed at 10:30, 11-ish, whenever Laura went to bed. I don't know. Don't know, can't remember. I probably got to sleep by 11 or just gone. And I feel more tired. God damn it. Although to be fair, it can be difficult to tell the difference between feeling tired and just having like a hay fevery eye, you know. So we have left the introductory off. Also, one thing, why is it? I don't know why, it's because we bought the house around a year ago. But why is it that like everything starts to time out and get renewed at the same time? It's really freaking irritating. Because it's like all of a sudden you just get hit by a load of different things that you got to do that you didn't really like expect to do any of them. And then all of a sudden they're all there at once. And yes, a lot of them are because we moved house. But a lot of them are like antivirus. Why is that timed to hit at the same time? I don't bloody well know, but it just is. It's just like some kind of rule where it all kind of like coalesces on 2 times during the year. You do basically half of your yearly subscriptions on one date and the other half on another date. One is like February for me and the other one is around now. So one of the things that we've got to renew is our internet. So when I first joined internet, we're with Virgin, we had like an introductory offer where you get phone. I don't have a phone plugged in. Oh, I'm going to be here all year if I freaking wait for that like that. Oh my god. So, not in a crazy rush to get that boiling. So I just pop that on there. Words. We got TV, which we weren't that interested in either, to be brutally honest, and internet, which we are interested in. We have a semi-decent internet speed, like I think we're around the middle of their brand, so we get like 120 down, which is great. The problem is our introductory deal has gone, and is now gone up in price by 20 quid a month. It's gone up by. Now, if we get the internet on its own, it will save us £8 a month. So the question is, do we value TV enough to pay £8 a month to pay for it? And that is what I am doing right here. Personally, I would quite like it if we didn't have to get TV from something that you plugged into the TV. I actually think that's quite cool. We don't even watch Virgin TV. Problem being that that's the aerial, and obviously the TV's there. This cable here isn't the cable I thought it was. That is a fucking satellite cable, not an aerial. The aerial is plugged into this TV here. It goes straight up to the chimney. Actually not sure which chimney it's on, whether it's on the front one or the back one. We've got 2 fireplaces. Anyway, I assume it joins. No, it doesn't. It goes all the... Oh, it joins in the roof. That's where it joins. In the loft. So, basically the question is, would running... what I wanted to find out was if we had like play pause in our TV with Freeview, because you get Freeview Plus, obviously. But I wanted to know if there was a way of me figuring that out without having to fucking search for it, because I don't have an aerial cable that bloody long, do I? Yeah, so basically, yeah, for £8 less, would we be able to play pause live TV? I don't think we are. As soon as you get into the realm of play pause in TV, you got to spend 100 quid plus to get a box that will do that for you. Would the Xbox do that for me? Probably not, don't know. And then it's going to go through something else. And even then with the box, it's got to go through something else. If you're paying £100+ for a box, you may as well pay £8 for Virgin a month. But either way, or not have play pause, figure out how that wire works, but it's all off one remote and it's in the live TV settings rather than seconded through a Virgin box or a other kind of box. Guys, in my consistent trials and tribulations with Nuget package updates, another update. Well, so my data migration went fine. Happy days. We're all in there. I've retried everything, redone all my manual regression tests. I don't have automation ones on this microservice. All seems to work fine. Except for I had an issue when I was doing a very specific query to get paged results back for my for a data source, and it was an AutoMapper change. And AutoMapper has decided to remove in a fix Nuget package change. It set a default flag, changed a default flag in the settings in that change, which was it's 8.1.1. That change from 8.1 to 8.10 to 8.11 changed that flag, which means that it doesn't do dynamic mapping anymore. Caveated, it will do it for IEnumerable, but it won't do it for other ones. So if you had two of the exact same type, effectively, but if you haven't told AutoMapper what you're mapping, at runtime it will go, I don't know how to map that. But it used to, and it's going to be a permanent thing where in version 9 they're going to get rid of the auto part of the auto mapping anyway. So yeah, it's not ideal, especially because it happened at runtime and it's a 0.1 update. So they removed that, which meant I had to add in some generic mappers because of what it was my paging model is generic types, and I was going from paging model of this type to paging model of this type. And previously it would just go, oh, this is a paging model, and we're just going to create a new paging model that's exactly the same. And then just change the type underneath. But nope. So that's 3 non-major Nuget package changes that have just like fucked me. Also, I've done it now, it works, but now it says that it's failing the assert validation method. The assert configuration is valid. So I've got failing unit test for reasons I can't figure out. But my God, and I'm reading the amount of people on GitHub that are like, yo, dude, what the frick? Just changing stuff, like, because like you rely on Semver versioning to know whether or not you can update, but that only really covers the API. It doesn't really cover behavior. Or, well, in real terms it does, but in everyone's head it doesn't. This is a major change to set this flag to the other way around. It's really interesting watching everyone argue about it, but flip me. Literally, so that's nservice bus bit me in the ass. No, not nservice bus, I always say that. nsubstitute bit me in the ass. AutoMapper bit me in the ass. And one other did. What was the other one that bit me in the ass? It was so bad, I've ignored it. What was it? I can't even remember. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm fucking sick of these fucking Nuget packages. It's Friday, everybody, and I got that Friday feeling. It feels like a long week. It doesn't feel like my holiday was a week ago, but it was. Then it does not feel like it's only been 4 full days back at work. You know what I mean? Got some more testing to do today. I think I'm doing cross-browser testing at the moment, and then I've got another bit of testing to do. So, which is again cross-browser, I think. Say that cross-browser with the exception of Google Chrome, because if I open Google Chrome I get a blue screen of death. So hopefully get some time to investigate that AutoMapper thing I was talking about last night. But otherwise, testing. Actually, I think I might have a meeting to start making tickets for the next project, which will be interesting because I make tickets very differently to the rest of the team. So, and it's just me. Well, no, me and the team lead, who I think sees it the way I do. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting project. It's going to be really easy, to be honest with you. I think we've got fucking ages to do it as well. It's going to be like, no, it's not going to be really easy because it's basically 99% testing, which is going to be great fun. Do I have anything to add this evening? I don't think so. I finished off all the work I was doing on my project. I've managed to merge all those things. I've just refamiliarized myself with the work I was doing to spin up the next microservice. I was going to do that a bit on my laptop today, but I realized that I had a load of code that was at home, still uncommitted. So I backed out of it. That was because I wasn't doing that work on my laptop, and that's what threw me. So I'm going to swap back. I'm figuring out where I am this weekend, and then I'll resync. But it's bedtime. We have some stuff to do tomorrow. It's going to be fun. My gosh, it's been a long day today, lads. Oh, look at that. We were invited to one of Laura's workmates' weddings. Open the windows. And it was one heckin' big wedding. I don't even think I know that many people, let alone would invite them all to a wedding, you know? It started at 1, and then we like went back to... They come from like a religious... It was like a really religious wedding, because they come from like a religious... kind of like community, like house kind of thing. So it was like really, well, I'll talk about it. Let's talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to bed. I feel I've got like a bit of a headache because I was stood outside. It was a bit hot. I was stood outside in the heat for a bit too long, and it's cooked my little nugget. We had a stormer of a day today, ladies and gentlemen. We got up, we did a little bit of work, we did a bit of potting, I did a bit of gardening. That was pretty impressive. Watched Formula 1, brilliant race. Went out for a walk, all that good stuff, watch a bit of Louis through, living the fucking dream. So, cracking Sunday. How long was this video? Cool. No, in all seriousness, apart from like a bit of programming, I was organising branches and codes and stuff. It's all now on my laptop, ready to rock and roll. I figured out like the 3 things I'm working on at the same time. I figured out all the things that I need to work on as well as this. And we're cooking on gas, but that wedding. So, it was a wedding of one of Laura's workmates. I think she works in a different team to Laura, but she's in like her friend circle. We were invited along with another one of workmates that we know. So we were like basically with them, but the rest of the people there we didn't know. But we were sat on a table of people who did law at university with the person who was getting married. So it was a law table, and I've got quite a lot of things in common with Laura's friend who was invited's fiance. But the wedding was massive. There was like at least a comfortable 200 people there for the ceremony itself, and then we went back to their house that they live in. It's a like a religious community house where they all lived, and that's where the couple met. Where it's like 2 shared houses. I think it's just 2 shared houses of like 20 odd people each that kind of live together and then go to church together and all this kind of stuff. So it was like a really religious marriage as well. And like there's like hymns and shit. And the talk in the middle, it was given by like the priest or whatever. To say it was dipped, just like threw some stuff in, and I'm like, why do you didn't have to throw that in? I don't know why you brought up that people discuss genders, but all he knows is opposites attract. You're like, what did you throw that in for, boy? On fucking Bristol Pride Day. Anyway, it's by the by. It's eye-opening. I don't mean this in a mean way. It's eye-opening because you don't realise people are like that. I'm honestly not trying to be disrespectful or anything. It's going to come across disrespectful. But Laura's going back. Don't say this around her. But you know, you only really see it, or I've only really seen it in films, where your Blues Brothers brings to mind. The first Blues Brothers, where I think it's John Elwood sees the light, and everyone around is like gospel singing and dancing and whatnot. That doesn't really happen in real life. That only happens in films, as far as I'm concerned. But like people are singing the hymns, and there are people like properly like swaying and like getting into it. You got people like me there, just like mouthing the words. I don't know what the words are. Don't want to sing. I'm not here. But then there's people like fucking swaying, and they've got like their arm in the air, and I'm like, I didn't think this happened in real life. You know what I'm saying? And then there's people that there's like speeches that were done throughout the day, and there was some really good speeches and stuff around the dinners, and it was really really nice day and whatnot. But it's when people say things like the reason it's such a strong relationship is because you've let God in the middle of this relationship, and you're like, it's like it's jarring almost to be like, I just wasn't expecting that to be thrown in there. So it was a really interesting day from like a people watching perspective. And it was a really good wedding. It was a really good, like, I say really good wedding. It was really interesting, and it was a bit hot in places. Food was really good. We didn't really talk to many people, but the people we talked to were cool. It was nice. It was good. And like, congratulations. They're not going to watch this, but congratulations. Quick change of battery there. But yeah, so as much as I say that, it was obviously. Oh, there you go. That's it, and that's the house that we were at for the drinks after. It is the first like wedding I've ever been to, so I've got nothing to compare it to, literally nothing to compare it to. Yeah, no, to be fair, I've been to, what do they call it after, a reception after, before. We didn't hang around for long because the people we were there with were driving back, so we weren't having a drink, and I think we left at the time where if you're not having a drink, you leave now, and if you're going to get pissed, you stay longer. But yeah, it was genuinely really nice. The people are really nice. The people we were with were really nice, and the couple were really nice as well. The one thing is, I wasn't expecting to go and leave not wanting to do that more, if that makes sense. Like, we went there, we've both never been to weddings before, and then to a certain extent, you need to go to a couple of marriages to figure out how you do one, you know what I mean? There's a shitload of details that I've never even thought you'd have to sort out. You have to sort out. But yeah, we went there being like, part of me was thinking like, so you go, you figure out what you do, you go to like 3 of these things, and then you kind of plan your own, right? But I left being like, this looks like the absolute opposite of anything that I want to do. And then both of us left, and we're both like, we both felt so young. They were younger than us. Well, one of them is younger than Laura. Not sure how old the husband is. But we left it like, I feel so immature and so like childish. I cannot imagine getting married. And like, part of me as well, the other part, so there's that as like an initial aspect. And I think as well, to a certain extent, with me and Laura, we've been together for 10 years now. Like, for that to kind of happen, something big's got to change, and nothing big is going to change now. Like, we might buy a new house or whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, so I feel like there's not going to be a life-changing thing, whereas other people who are being engaged have been together for like 3 years, not 10. So it's a combination of that, which means like, and also we're like words. Feel too young. Where was I going with this? Yeah, it's like a combination of being there made us feel so like young, but then old at the same time, and like a flip. Because, oh no, that's where I was going with it. Yeah, so like being there made you feel like really, really young. Like I feel like an 18-year-old. I feel like the one when you're like 18, or no, you're like 16, and all of your cousins that are at the same thing are all like 8. You know, you're too old to play with the kids, but you're too young to talk to the adults, you know? But then also like the whole concept of it, of like, you get there, groom's there, greets everyone in, like the whole day is like focused on you, and there's a lot of people there, there's 200 odd people there. Then you go somewhere else and everything's still focused on you again, and then you go back, you have your meal, everything's still focused on you, there's speeches, and I just can't, it's like the worst thing about hosting a party is you can't dictate when you leave, right? If you go to someone else's party, you can leave whenever you want. And a combination of like that, of being like, this looks like my idea of hell, of just being the centre of attention all day. And people, like, I don't know, 190 people, I couldn't imagine who I'd invite. Being like, and having to endure conversations with people, they're all coming to you and say the same thing. Oh God, it sounds like so hellish. But yeah, like the concept of just being like the centre of attention all day, just not ready for that shit. And it makes me feel really young. But then also, me and Laura, the people we're with are like really like, they've just got engaged and they're like really lovey-dovey. And me and Laura are just like, you know? It's weird. So we feel really old in that way. We feel like a 20-year-old married, 20 years married couple in that respect. Anyway, it's by the by. Interesting. There was a lot of interesting like revelations and like thought processes kicked off the back of that. But yeah, that's been my weekend. I'm going to end the video here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I've not offended anyone in this last little stint of anyone who's got married or is religious or likes being the centre of attention, I guess. I apologise, it's not my intention. I'm going to go. Thanks for watching.